Did you know that you might be missing a huge chunk of traffic on your blog because you forgot to do one simple thing? This is called the image alt text. Basically, the image alt text is something that every single picture in your blog post should have. It is a short description of what happens in the image. But no, it is not the same as the caption. The idea of the alt text is to make the blog post accessible for people that are not able to see your images. Also, the alt text helps search engines understand your images better. This is a complete guide on how to write a perfect alt text to your images in your blog posts and make your blog post accessible to everybody. Now, before we move on, I would like to invite you to check my free blogging masterclass. I've left a link to it in the description. In this masterclass, I teach you absolutely everything you need to know to start a successful blog this year. The image alt text should be a short yet specific description of what happens in the image. The idea is very simple. You want to make your blog post equally as accessible to people that are reading through it than to people that are listening to it. To write a perfect image alt text, imagine yourself describing the image over a phone to somebody. But it is not all that simple. The context matters as well. So let's actually see a couple of examples so that you can actually learn how to do it. As the first example, let's consider this image, and the context is a blog post that considers the best beaches in the UK. Here's an example of a bad alt text for this image. It says, sunset beach image. Now this is obviously way too vague. It doesn't convey any meaningful information about that image. This is very confusing to people that are using screen readers to listen to your blog posts. But let's make this alt text a bit better. Here's what it actually could look like. Woman enjoying a beautiful sunset on a beach in North Berwick, UK. This alt text provides a short and concise yet informative description of what's happening in the image. Awesome! Now let's take a look at another example. The image that you're seeing right now is in a blog post about FC Barcelona's season 2018 to 2019. Here's an example of a bad alt text. Soccer game in full stadium. Well, this description is not helpful at all. This is unfair because the people that can see the image can clearly tell what the image is all about. Remember that because this blog post is about FC Barcelona, many people that read through this blog post are soccer fans, and they would find it really insightful to know what the images represent and what these images are all about. So let's make the alt text a bit better. Here's a good alt text for this particular image. A spectator view of FC Barcelona playing against Atletico Madrid in Camp Nou in 2018. Much better. But notice that it is not always that simple. Let's place this image into another context and let's reconsider the alt text of the image. This time we're using this image in a blog post about health benefits of sports in general. So we're no longer talking about soccer. Now here's an example of a bad alt text. Spectator view of FC Barcelona playing against Atletico Madrid in Camp Nou in 2018. So what the heck is going on? This was the good alt text in the previous example. Well, at this point, because this blog post is no longer about soccer, but about sports in general, the level of depth it gives is actually way too much. The people that are reading through this article are interested in the health benefits of the sports in general, and they don't really care if it's Atletico Madrid or Barcelona or what season was or where the game was played. All they really care about is that it's actually an image of a sports event. So basically this is just a generic sports picture that is probably intended to break up the text in the sports article so that it's not just a wall of text. So it doesn't really matter what's happening in this image. Thus, the people that are using screen readers to listen through your blog post shouldn't care either. In this case, a better alt text could be something like a soccer game in a full stadium. Now last but not least, let's consider one more example. Here this image is a road sign and it is a part of a product review that considers Photoshop versus Affinity Designer. Now here's an example of bad alt text in this context. A road sign in the middle of a desert pointing in both directions. Well, because this is just a product review and this image has absolutely nothing to do with either product. It is basically just a decorative image that breaks up the text to avoid the wall of text effect. In other words, this image doesn't actually need an alt text at all. So based on everything that I have told you thus far, here is your blueprint for creating a perfect alt text to your images. Provide a detailed yet short description of the image. Use your blog topic, context, and the image as the guideline. Keep it under 125 characters. This is because the screen readers that read your blog post out loud for the listeners will stop reading after that point. Do not say picture of or image of. Google already knows that this is a picture, and the screen reading software does as well. And last but not least, remember that not all images need alt texts. If the image doesn't provide any value to your reader, it won't provide any additional value to the listeners either. Now that you know how to write a perfect alt text to your blog post images, let me actually show you how to do it. And more specifically, let's consider WordPress in this example because it's the most common website builder. So open up a blog post, click Edit, click on an image, choose the blog section on the right hand side of the Settings tab, scroll down to alt text, specify the alt text. Now, as I stated earlier in this guide, the alt text is definitely not the same as the caption or the description of the image. Those two are two entirely different things. And before you go, I will quickly tell you why. So the alt text is a must-have property of an image in a blog post. It describes what happens in the image for people that are not able to see those images. On the other hand, the caption of an image is there to add extra information about what's happening in the image. The caption is not something every image needs to have. So to put it short, the alt text makes the blog post images more accessible to everybody, but the caption just provides additional context. At this point, I would like to recommend checking out another video on my channel about how to use images in your blog posts. I have left a link to this video in the description. Nonetheless, that is it for today. Make sure to add alt text to your images to maximize the accessibility of your blog posts to people that are using screen readers to listen through your blog posts. Thanks so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good day.